Taking a strong stance, US President Donald Trump on Wednesday announced a 90-day pause on his reciprocal tariffs just 24 hours after it came into effect, sparking fears of a major trade war, triggering a global market meltdown, and raising concerns of a looming global recession. However, he announced an immediate increase to tariffs on China to 125%, up from the previous declared 104%. The Xi Jinping-led country remained unfazed and hit back at Trump's 104% tariffs with its own additional tariffs of 84%, up from the previous 34% on all American goods. China vowed to fight to the end. The US president said that over 75 countries had not retaliated against the United States, and therefore he authorized a 90-day pause on the reciprocal tariff, which the Republican leader introduced as a measure to address the alleged trade imbalance with the US. Trump wrote on Truth Social, "I did a 90-day pause for the people who didn't retaliate because I told them if they retaliate, we are going to double it, based on the fact that more than 75 countries have called representatives of the United States to negotiate a solution to the subjects being discussed relative to trade barriers, tariff, currency manipulation, and non-monetary tariffs, and that these countries have not, at my strong suggestion, retaliated in any way, shape, or form against the United States. I have authorized a 90-day pause." He said that during this 90-day period, a significantly reduced reciprocal tariffs on just 10% would be in effect. Defending his move to pause tariffs, Trump called it a sign of his flexibility. However, Trump announced a steep hike in tariffs on China to 125% from the earlier 104%, a move that had already drawn retaliation from Beijing. Following the announcement, Wall Street main indexes jumped, although the precise details of Trump's plan to ease tariff on non-China trade partners were not immediately clear. The S&P 500 stock index rose nearly 7% after the announcement. Donald Trump's reciprocal tariffs on the US trading partners came into effect on Wednesday, including hefty duties on Chinese goods, escalating a global trade war. In a sharp response, China imposed an 84% tariff on US goods the same day and vowed to fight the tariff war to the very end. Further escalating the trade war between the world's two largest economies, Beijing imposed export restrictions on several US companies and filed a fresh complaint with the World Trade Organization, warning that the US tariffs pose a serious threat to global trade stability. Apparently, Trump's move is also seen as an attempt to narrow what had been an unprecedented trade war between the US and the most of the world to one between the US and China. Trump's announcement to offer tariff pause also came in a wake of retaliatory tariff threat from the European Union. Joining China and Canada, the 27-member bloc said it would launch its first countermeasures against Trump's tariff next week, imposing 25% duties on a range of US imports.